Hello everyone, my name's Ozzymitsu, and today I wanted to make a very serious video. If you are even remotely familiar with my channel, you will know that my content is very serious and very deep, and I never make fun of anything, and I never do anything to get a few cheap laughs. I'm there to give you full in-depth knowledge, and I'm here to help competitive players because I have so much knowledge to share. And this is evident in my An Evolution Solution series. It's very deep, it takes some brain cells to really understand that series, which is why I dropped it, because I kind of lost a few brain cells in the past few months. So I don't have that big brain energy to continue making those sort of videos. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. The reason I wanted to come on here today and make a video was because I wanted to share with you an experience that I just thought was fascinating. So I was watching the black and white anime for the 300th time, and this time I didn't actually want to skip the intro because I wanted the full experience this time. And no one told me this, and I don't know why no one spoke about this, but I'm very surprised that the black and white anime's intro is a Michael Jackson cover. I don't know why no one spoke about this. Was it because they thought that because the black and white anime is the best season of the anime, that Michael Jackson being in it would just blow every other season out of the park? Because it did that anyway. The best season of the anime, objectively. And if you are sitting there, looking at your screen all aghast, like, oh, that's not right. Well, let me just tell you something. You might be suffering with something quite serious, and it's called wrong opinion syndrome. You can look it up on Google, you can self-diagnose, you can get help, it's out there. I can even recommend you some resources if you need them. I'm here to help you. Anyway, I wanted to analyze some of these lyrics because although it's a cover, Pokemon really made it their own, and I think Michael Jackson would be really happy with what Pokemon created here. So I'm just going to commence now. It's always hard when the journey begins, hard to find your way, hard to make new friends. Now I can relate to this on a very personal level because before today I thought making friends was a myth. I didn't think that people had these in real life. I thought it was just something that you saw in some of those high school movies where people hang out. I didn't think that people do this. But there you go, you learn something new every day. But there's nothing you can't do because you've got the power inside of you. I think what it means here, it's not literally meaning that you have power inside of you. It's kind of when you're sitting in an exam and you're really nervous, but you know the answer, that George Washington was a president of the United States, but you might not remember that. So what you ought to do is write some of these answers down on your hand so that you can refer to them in the exam. Because it's not cheating, your brain told you to write that down. You knew that at some point. So if you forget about it, that's not your fault. That doesn't measure your level of intelligence. And I think that's what it's trying to say here, that you've got the power to retain this knowledge that you gain, be that by keep memorizing it, by saying it out loud, or writing it down. Some people are visual learners, so I think people shouldn't look down on visual learners like that actually, but that's another video for another time. But your heart always knows what's right. It's not about win or lose, it's the path you choose. And I think this point is very poignant because forget the Indigo League, the first season of that anime where the premise was, I want to be the very best like no one ever was. No one's born to be the best. Preach! No one's born to be a hero as well. Everyone's born to be a loser unless you change that. Everyone's born to be a loser like me. So I think that this is what it means. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're still going to be a loser who watches Pokemon. Let the journey begin, Pokemon. Now, I'm going to include the movie version because it has the full lyrics. Okay, so it's never easy to make a choice. This, again, bang on the money here, Pokemon. It's never easy to make a choice. It's kind of like when you go to the ice cream shop. How do they expect you to pick just one flavour? You have vanilla, you have strawberry. There's so many options. Why can't you just have Neapolitan ice cream everywhere so that you can get the best of both worlds? To keep things inside or raise your voice, but for everyone there comes a time when the light inside begins to shine. Now, I don't know if this is like some sort of parody of "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," but that is some very clever stuff. 10 out of 10 Michael Jackson. It's not always right or wrong as long as your spirit's strong. It's not always win or lose, it's the road you choose. Now, I think what it's referring to here is, I can give you a really good example if you're familiar with the UK. So, if I'm on the motorway, which is kind of like the highway for you Americans, so say one exit is going towards London and the other is going to a city called Coventry. It's kind of like, say I did need to get to London, but I make the wrong turn because I panic, because there's someone riding so close to my backside they could virtually be hitting me, that I get nervous and I take the exit to Coventry. You know, I made a mistake there, and you think, ooh, what do I do? Well, I'll tell you what to do. You can actually get a train from Coventry to London. So that's what this lyric means, is that even if you make a mistake, the destination's still the same. You can make your way to London. And obviously London in this scenario is a metaphor for whatever you want it to be. Refer to my original point that I made at the beginning of this video. I'm really deep. Again, they talk about ice cream here. So many choices. How do we know? Chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, mint chocolate. You know, that's what it's referring to. And that's why sometimes people have the debate about pineapple on pizza. If you want pineapple on pizza, that's completely fine. Just don't shove it down my throat. So many places, where do we go? Anywhere but Nebraska. What should I say? What should I do? Don't go to Nebraska. Still, we're together, me and you, unless you're from Nebraska. And now, I'm not going to repeat the other verses because they're somewhat repetitive, you know. It's not always right or wrong as long as your spirit's strong, blah 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 blah. So we've pretty much covered the whole basis of these lyrics because it repeats itself. Kind of like life, you know, when you make the same mistake over and over again just to make sure that the decision you're making is always wrong. Yeah, remember these lyrics whenever you make those mistakes. Alright guys, of course, yeah, I'm just making fun. I'm kind of just taking the piss a little bit because I know so many people are saying how I'm not making quote-unquote serious content and that my last few videos have been jokes. I just want to quickly address those comments because I feel as though I've been attacked recently for ignoring these comments. So I'm just going to address it really quickly. First of all, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with making joke content. The whole idea for me anyway, for YouTube, is so that whoever watches my videos, they can be entertained by them. And of course, yes, I made the Evolution Solution series for so long and it entertained some people, clearly, but it wasn't something that I enjoyed making anymore. And few people in the comment section have even told me they didn't find it enjoyable anymore because it was kind of the same thing over and over again. It's kind of like me regurgitating the same thing over and over again, and it got quite repetitive. So I've axed the series for two main reasons. One, I wasn't having fun making it, and two, I wanted to evolve my content. And just another point on evolving my content. Now, it's no surprise that I don't upload very often, and the reason for that is because I have a full-time job. I don't take YouTube seriously. Of course, I love it when my YouTube videos do well. It's not that I don't care about the content that I make. It's just I don't want to spend 30 plus hours editing a video that only gets 200 views, whereas I can make these quote-unquote joke videos that take far less editing. It's actually somewhat enjoyable to make, and it doesn't take too much of my time, and it has actually been received quite well in comparison to my other videos. And I'm not saying that views are everything, but I think it's naive to say that you should only do content that you care about and you shouldn't care about the views, because surely if you didn't care about the views, you wouldn't upload those videos onto YouTube. You would keep them private and show them between friends. Of course, I would want my videos to be seen to as many people as possible, because if I'm showing something on YouTube, I want it to be seen, I want it to be shared, I want it to be recognized. I'm not trying to take away from what people are saying. I'm a big boy, I can take criticism, and of course I have taken your criticism on board. Just at the same time, you have to understand that this isn't my full-time job, and I can't commit to 30 plus hours of editing every week to make a video. If instead I can make shorter videos more often, I think that that's a win-win situation for everybody, as opposed to me just feeling demotivated and not making anything. And yeah, that's the whole rationale behind this video. This was unedited, if you couldn't tell, just because I think it kind of fit the purpose of this video, if that makes sense. But I hope you can understand that this channel isn't the same, it's changing. And I'm sorry if that means a few of you might unsubscribe. That's completely fine. You're entitled to your opinion there. And I'm really sad to see you go. But at the same time, I'm not going to make content that I'm not interested in anymore. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video anyway, please leave it a thumbs up because that does help me out. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so because I occasionally make content. And yeah, that's pretty much all from me. I will see you guys whenever I upload next. See ya.